If you're not living under a rock, then you must be aware that comics and manga have been on a rise as a medium. I mean, who thought Superman would ever make a Yamcha post from Dragon Ball and DC casually making the best comic book show of the decade out of nowhere? Looking at you, Penguin. Since I'm already an anime degenerate, I can understand the hype behind it. One day I decided, why not try reading a comic book on my mobile phone? And oh boy, don't get me started on the reading experience. Constant zooming in and out while panning feels like a specific finger workout. The only difference is it's not satisfying. And then it hit me, what if I could just automatically jump from panel to panel without manually zooming in and out? So I decided it's time to get my lazy ass up and put AI to some actual use. Before you start to work on the actual solution, you have to name it. Since it's the easiest thing to do, I got done with it in an hour max. No, I procrastinated and totally forgot to make this app. Eventually, I came up with the name bloopworm. Don't ask me how many days it took. Anyway, it's the combination of two terms, bookworm and comic bubbles, aka bloops. Yeah, I know how unique it is. Now the time was to start working on the actual problem. Firstly, I had to research what were the most popular comic book formats, and I found out that people generally didn't just use a folder made up of JPEGs or PNGs because obviously that takes up too much space. Instead, they archived those folders into popular zip and RAR formats, which are generally called CBZ and CBR files in the comic book community. There is .pdf as well, so I decided to support mainly these three file formats. Coming to the AI part, I came up with two main processes, that is panel detection with bounded box coordinates and then sorting those panels in order accordingly. I mean, if you think about it, we dumb humans naturally first decide what are the actual panels and start reading those in order. And if you say otherwise, I don't care, your opinion is already invalid. Moving forward, I had to train my own ML model for detecting manga and comic panels. So initially I sat through for 2 to 3 hours daily and made my own training data by forming two-dimensional boxes over the panels. I still wonder how I didn't procrastinate through that process. Eventually I had enough of those images and now time was to finally train the model. I used YOLO, a popular open source detection model, and no, it does not mean you only live once, dumbass. Instead, it means you only look once, because you gotta be efficient as fuck. After the training was done, the model could detect the panels fairly well in any comic book or manga, which was a great achievement actually. But showing them in order was still a major problem because some of these manga pages are so complicated that even my human brain couldn't figure out the actual order. Anyway, I decided to stop being a chill guy and activate what most programmers have. Ego. Trust me, all you need is an inflated ego and some music playing in the background that will fuel your god complex. That's how you write an algorithm that will work efficiently in 80 to 90% of the cases. Regarding the 10%, fuck those edge cases. Alright, the time has finally come to create the mobile app. Thanks to Flutter, I could create both Android and iOS apps with a single code base. Also, if I didn't already tell you, the machine learning model would be present in the app itself, so you don't actually need the internet to read your comics. After coding the UI from imagination, yes, I don't use Figma, skill issue, and stealing all the pre-coded public packages for mundane tasks, the app was done. Now's the time to showcase this app, sit back, relax, and fantasize.
But you can now experience digital manga in the best possible way. With the help of AI, we have created an app called Bloopworm that can guide you through the pages panel by panel. Whether it's a comic book, webtoon, or a light novel, you can read it all in this app. Just import your zip, RAR or PDF files, and you are good to go. Download the app now from the Play Store or App Store and start enjoying manga the way it was meant to be experienced.